Alright, so I'm not normally one for making theory videos, but this is something I felt like I just had to get out there. Annie has officially come to Legends of Runeterra, and with her, a whole bunch of lore regarding her power, her family, and her connections to Noxus. Above all else, though, we've gotten an absolutely fantastic short story called The Eyes and the Embers. It's a great read, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest you pause the video and go check it out. It's on Universe, shouldn't take more than a couple minutes. Alright, we good? So the story follows Ameline, Annie's birth mother, before she met Gregory and had our favorite pyro child. Ameline is fleeing from a place called the Ravenbloom Conservatory, another school where the Black Rose takes young magical prodigies to try and turn them into weapons, like the Roseguard Academy that Rel was trained in. Okay, seriously, Roseguard, Ravenbloom? For a secret shadow cabal, these people aren't very subtle, are they? Whatever. The point is that Ameline was a gifted pyromancer, which made her of special importance to the Black Rose. See, throughout the story, a mysterious voice keeps speaking in Ameline's head. At one point, the voice urges her to stare into her own campfire, and Ameline starts getting visions of the past. She sees an armored figure with a giant mace, clearly meant to be Mordekaiser, attacking a cathedral of some kind. However, Mordekaiser isn't alone. At his sides are two monstrous creatures, one made of shadow and the other of fire. The former is likely Atakan. No, not that Atakan, this Atakan. The other is Tybalk, or Tibalk, a creature made of living flame. The scene then shifts to LeBlanc triumphing over Mordekaiser, standing before his broken armor. It's not clear how she managed this, but I guess Riot wants to keep that part a secret for now. The monsters, meanwhile, are subdued by other members of the Black Rose. Atakan gets locked in a chamber deep below the Immortal Bastion, while Tybalt gets stuck in an ancient vial. There, the fire creature stays for years, until the headmistress of Ravenbloom, Tesley, performs a ritual to channel that creature's essence into a young, gifted pyromancer. That pyromancer is, of course, Ameline. So immediately some things start adding up. We've always known that Annie was a prodigy fire mage, something that she inherited from her birth mother. However, while that explains her mastery of flame quite well, one thing that the new lore never explained in particularly great detail was Tibbers. How was she able to bring her teddy bear to life? That goes a bit beyond ordinary pyromancy. Well, now we have a fairly solid idea. It seems safe to assume that in addition to her mother's fire magic, Annie also inherited Tybalt, or at least a fragment of it. When Annie summons Tibbers, she's channeling the flame spirit within her through her toy, a precious keepsake that her mother gave to her. Okay, so the question now becomes, where and how did Mordekaiser even get such a creature to begin with? What is Tybalt exactly? Well, while the exact details are still a mystery, I believe the answers lie in the bio of another champion, Xerath. The day of Ascension arrived, and Azir marched toward the days of Ascension with Xerath at his side. Nasus and Renekton were absent from the day's events, for Xerath had arranged a distraction for them by weakening the seal on a magical sarcophagus containing a beast of living fire. When that creature finally broke its bindings, Renekton and Nasus were the only warriors capable of defeating it. Thus, Xerath had stripped Azir of the only two beings who might save him from what was to come. Later on, when Xerath finally ascends, Nasus and Renekton rush back to the capital with the sarcophagus used to bind the fire spirit, and instead trap Xerath within it. Never once does the bio say what became of this fire creature. Where did it go? Did Nasus and Renekton defeat it? Did they simply let it go when they saw the capital being torn apart? We don't know. The fate of this fire spirit has been a total mystery since Xerath's initial lore rewrite nearly 8 years ago now. For a time, Many fans, including myself, thought that the fire spirit would later go on to become Brand, but Brand's retcon turned him into a guy transformed by a world rune. Frankly, I have no real issues with this because I rather like Brand's story and his dynamic with Rise. Of course, if Brand isn't the fire spirit that Xerath released, then where did it go? I'll stop beating around the bush, as you've all no doubt come to the same possibility as me by now. I believe that the fire spirit in question is, in fact, Tybalt. Xerath set the beast free as a distraction for Nasus and Renekton, and somehow, later down the line, Mordekaiser managed to tame it. How he managed that is still up in the air, but there's a lot about Mordekaiser's conquest that we still don't know, aside from him just gathering all kinds of arcane knowledge in the Immortal Bastion. After his defeat, however, LeBlanc and the Black Rose took custody of it all, including the Shadow and Fire Beasts. The latter was transferred into Ameline, and then inherited by Annie. So yes, presuming this is the same eternal flame spirit that was bound in Shurima so long ago, it is very much possible that Xerath is indirectly responsible for Annie's existence, as well as the tragedy that befell her parents and sister. That would make Annie's the fourth family that Xerath has torn apart over the years, if we're counting Azir, Renekton, and Cassiopeia to an extent. But what do you think? Is Tybalt the original prisoner of Xerath's sarcophagus, or am I reading into it too much? Leave your thoughts down below, and I'll see you all next time.